Hi everyone, Shelley McDonald, North Kingstown High School teacher. Yesterday, Monday, June 9th, at approximately 10:30 a.m., the high school turned on its wireless access points. Wireless access points emit electromagnetic microwave radiation. I wonder if the school committee is aware of the radiation readings in your classrooms, and I also wonder if you're aware of the FCC guidelines and what they state about maximum public exposure to EMF, RF, microwave radiation. FCC. Yesterday in my classroom, I measured radiation levels ranging from 1,200 to 11,000 microwatts per square meter, depending on where I was standing. Today I recorded similar measurements with a spike up to 14,000 microwatts per square meter. These readings were taken in an empty classroom without wireless devices accessing the beacon signal. So on average, exposure levels are sitting at about 5,000 microwatts per square meter, regardless of where I stood in the classroom. On Thursday, prior to activation of the wireless access points, the radiation levels in my room were 0. So to put this in perspective, 6 feet away from your at-home router, I measured a Belkin 2.54 gigahertz wireless router. You'll read measurements of around 20 to 300 microwatts. In a Starbucks with Wi-Fi, about 8 feet from the ceiling-mounted access point, you'll register readings ranging from 3 to 63 microwatts per square meter, with spikes as high as 120, depending on data transmission. Standing at the park and ride where 138 meets Route 1, I measured the cell tower at about 900 to 2,400 microwatts per square meter. Again, in my classroom, 1,200 to 11,000 microwatts yesterday, up to 14,000 today. So I'm wondering, is this safe? My classroom readings were 2 to 4 times higher than the cell tower readings, and 20 to 30 times higher than a typical wireless router that you might have in your home. So, according to a document that I have from Dr. Auger dated May 12, 2014, the school department did not review any of the studies related to the health effects of chronic exposure to EMF, RF, either before or after installation and deployment of Wi-Fi in the district. The school department did not consult with any health professionals. The school department did not consider wireless alternatives. The school department did not inform parents or staff of risks to health or gather informed consent. The school department has no plans to monitor the health effects of a documented possible carcinogen. Is this a lack of due diligence? Is it wise to be so arrogant at the expense of our children? Were you aware that the wireless access points may be improperly installed? Manufacturer specifications under the FCC radiation exposure statement state this equipment should be installed and operated with minimum distance 20 centimeters between radiator and your body. This transmitter must not be co-located or operating in conjunction with any other antenna or transmitter. That last part, co-located, meaning near each other. There is a wireless access point in every classroom. Is that co-located? I wasn't sure, so I called the manufacturer. After a very difficult conversation, I was told that they may not be able to get me an answer to my question about what constitutes co-located for legal liability reasons. Quote, that was a quote. That's concerning, and I hope the school department will address it and perhaps get answers to my questions. In all of the questions that I asked Dr. Auger, there was one that he did provide an answer to. I asked, who did the school department consult with regarding the safety of wireless technology? Dr. Auger attached a reply to an email that I had sent to Cynthia Brown, the director of Wireless Classroom Initiative at RIDE, who stated that technology standards under Wireless Classroom Initiative, managed by RIDE, are in compliance with all FCC regulations. As it turns out, the technology at North Kingstown High School is not compliant with FCC regulations. Based on manufacturer specifications and an algorithm agreed upon by senior engineers with OSHA, I calculated the daily cumulative exposure our students will face. The algorithm calculates the total cumulative RF, EMF, microwave radiation work, which is just the power delivered over time. I used an average radiation exposure of 5,607 microwatts per square meter and found that after 6 hours, students will be exposed to 24,220,240 microwatt seconds per square meter of radiation. Remember, FCC guidelines are 10 million. This is 2.4 times higher than FCC guidelines, so the FCC regulations will be exceeded daily. So I'm asking, how will that affect student health? How will that affect student performance? How will that affect students with health challenges? How will that affect pregnant staff members? Is it legal? It is time to notify parents, faculty, and staff of the risks to health, notify them that students and staff in our classrooms are being exposed to radiation in excess of FCC guidelines. I'd like to know what this committee and what this district is going to do to address your non-compliance with federal regulations. And I do hope that this won't be ignored. We're talking about the health and safety of our students, of our children, and they deserve our due diligence and our consideration. Are there any questions?
We're not taking any questions, but thank you, Mrs. McDonald.
No? Could I
We're not
ask
going to
a
take any
question?
questions.
Could I
We're not
ask
going
a
to take any
question?
questions. Not at citizens' comments.
Love to
Why can't
entertain
I
questions.
Thank you.
Why can't I
Thank
take
you.
a question?
You can question it all day
You may
tomorrow if you
question
want.
her after the
Excuse
meeting,
me?
or you may question
Is that
her
what you,
after the
that's how
meeting.
you consider the safety of our kids? We can take the questions tomorrow?
This is citizens' comments.
how you
We are
consider
not
the
going to take
safety
any
of our
questions
kids?
right now. This has been a standard practice, Mr. Mudge.
Yeah.
You know how our
You.
citizens' comments work.
I'm looking right
If
back at
would
you.
like, okay, gentlemen, if you would like to talk to Mrs. McDonald on your own time, you may. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Isn't that a problem, Mr. Mudge?
All right, gentlemen, that's
The
enough.
safety of our kids, that's what I
Okay.
do. And the lack of,
All right.
it's on the school committee.
Let's get back to our meeting agenda, please.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Yes, what is your point of order?
Point of order that I would like the superintendent to at least respond to the point where he spoke to the Department of Health, because I don't like these things to be said and not have some response. Briefly, I'm not asking for it.
If someone else has something that you would like to comment at citizens' comments, you may come up to the mic. We just ask you to state your name and your address.
And my point of order?
So,
It's on a member of the committee, I make point of order.
yes, I'm not sure what you want me to do,
I want you
Mrs.
to allow the superintendent to respond. To address that.
Not at this time.
What do you mean not at this time?
He can speak in his superintendent